Motivation Whispers, where in a world where inspiration and purpose is so needed, we find it to help you make real change. I'm your host, Coach Rileagh, and with me today is Brenda Gilbert. Now, many of you know Brenda probably from the movies she's produced, and that she's a co-founder and president of Brawn Studios, Brawn Animation, Brawn Creativity, Brawn Release, Brawn Digital. You have a lot of Brawn and Brawn Life. Okay, there's a lot in there. And my daughter, she was so excited, Brenda. I have to tell you, she was so excited I was interviewing you because one of her favorite films is The Willoughbys, and she just about she made me watch it 3 times with her on Netflix. So super excited that you helped and you produced that. So, what I read about you and researching Brenda was that right now, with everything you've done, you wake every day going, I want to inspire people. Can you talk about that? What moment was it when you woke up and said, it's time, I need to just focus on inspiration?
Yeah, it's a really good question. In terms of inspiration and motivation, I've always tried to help people as much as I could, wherever I could. I always believe in giving a helping hand. But what really sort of propelled me in terms of posting every day, something of inspiration, something of motivation, was a turning point in my life, I think, last year of April 2020. I had planned to do all sorts of my birthdays in April. And that's why it's very significant. So I was planning on doing all sorts of parties, one in Los Angeles. I live in Vancouver. We're doing a party over here, and actually going away with 3 of my really good friends, and not working, for most of it. So that was the first for me. And then obviously, the pandemic hit and, things were locked down and we weren't able to travel. So I was getting a bit mopey, and that's not really a characteristic for me. I usually wake up, pretty happy and pretty charged, a little fatigued, of course, with the 14, 16-hour days, even 20-hour days sometimes. And I thought to myself, why am I so down? Why am I so upset when there's so many people that are worse off than me? I have a roof over my head. I have food on the table. My family's all here. We're healthy. And I thought, if I'm feeling this way and I have all the amenities and I have, my family near me, I can't imagine how other people are feeling who have lost their jobs, who have lost their loved ones, aren't motivated to work, losing hope, are desperate, are homeless. So I thought, how can I help somebody every single day? And so what only was supposed to be posts for the month of April of 2020 has ended up being a continuum of posts every single day. So I don't miss a beat, even if I'm not feeling well, even if, I'm really tired, even if I have a migraine. I always make sure that I post something that I feel could be really beneficial to people.
This is amazing because, Brenda, it's similar to your story, is how this show came about. I live on a boat, I sail around the world, and I coach and run my business from a boat. And I was sitting here watching people and myself just feel isolated and alone. And I'm going, what am I doing? I think this is fantastic that you took action and you did that. So what inspires you to keep doing this?
I think is, why I continued to post every single day is I heard from so many people, many whom I haven't known or have known before prior to COVID. And they said, please keep posting. Even if I don't comment, even if I don't like your post, it's really, really helping me. So I continue because I know in the back of my mind that I don't want to let others down. I really want to help them. I want to motivate them. I want to keep them happy. I want to keep them moving forward, even if it's baby steps. I posted about that as well, as even one step is still a step in the right direction as opposed to going backwards. We have to keep moving forward. We can look in our rearview mirror, right? Just to make sure that we're on the right track. But we all know that in terms of our journey, we take a lot of detours, right? The mode of transportation can change as well. And sometimes even in life where we don't think things are going in the way that we want to, Rejection can possibly be redirection and assessment and adapting and pivoting. So, yes.
Next, where does this go?
What's next for me is also making sure that as a content provider that I can incorporate the social impact in the content as well. And also to have accompanying pieces to some of the content that we are producing. So, if we can help a foundation, if we can help individuals, people that have not have access to resources or opportunities, here's a real way that we can actually highlight, champion, support these individuals as well, particularly people from communities that aren't represented that well and historically haven't been given opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think this really is in line with one of the um, things that I saw you or saw mentioned about you is that you're very passionate about giving a voice to those who need one. I found that just so inspiring in itself. Uh, where did that come about? What spurred that thought process?
I think about my own personal journey. I think about myself as a woman and a woman of color. I think about how many times that, I'll be in a room and it doesn't matter who the colleague is. Sometimes when people come into a room, they divert all their attention to that colleague who happens to be a male, and not me when I'm the decision maker. I'm the one that's approving payroll, I'm approving expenses, I'm green lighting a few things here and there, obviously with the help of my colleagues at Braun. But the reality is the BR in Braun is for Brenda, and the ON is for my husband, who is my partner, a business partner and partner in life as well. So it's the origin story is my personal journey as well, where when I see people that are suffering, people that are having hardship, I don't always think about it. I just go ahead and do it and try to help out as many people as I can.
Fantastic, beautiful. I love that. And I love that you just go and do it. I think that is part of inspiration, and what's missing is when you have an idea and you see a need, you go out and do it. And, you know, I don't know for you, but for me, when I do it, it feels fantastic. How do you feel when you activate that on that action?
Oh, activating on action, on your intentions is so important to me. And of course, by the end of the day, we all get really tired. But when we can sit back and say, did we make somebody smile? Did we open a door for somebody? Did we hold out a chair for somebody? It can be the simplest of tasks or responsibilities of some sort that we don't even think about it. But if we can make somebody smile and make their day that much better, I think it's really, really important. And like I said, I don't think about it. I just go and do it. And sometimes I have to also be careful because you sometimes don't know people's state of mind. But the reality is that especially in a COVID world, and even before, is we need to come together as communities. We need to come together as people, good people. And when people say that they don't have time, I kind of have to laugh internally, quite honestly, because if the amount of time that it takes you to look at your social media accounts, you can see, and you're laughing because that sometimes people spend a lot of time on there. You can send out a referral to somebody, you can send out a text to somebody, you can help somebody out. It doesn't have to be monetary. It only take 5 minutes of your time. So I think it's just really important that we do these little things, maybe in our mind, but they're huge to other people. I get thank you notes from people all the time, and I'm like, I really didn't do too much. I just put you in touch with somebody. And they said, the fact that you were willing to do that, and the fact that the other person that you put me in touch with was receptive to listen to me, that's huge.
Huge. It is huge. That little item, and like you said, that connection, that community is missing from our lives. Yes, the isolation of COVID didn't help, but it was happening, like you said, prior to COVID. And this is, what a gift to be able to make that connection, however small. And you're already on your device anyway. It doesn't take much to, like, send referral or connect people. So that, what great advice as well. So If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, Brenda, or see what you're posting and be inspired by you and connect with what you're offering, how would they get to you? What platform are you on? What's happening there?
I'm most active on Instagram, so you can DM me or send me, or even let me know if the posts are helping you in some capacity, because that puts a smile on my face. Remember how we were talking about putting smiles on other people's faces? I love smiling when somebody says, this is a confirmation of what I was thought was going to happen, or an affirmation of some sort. Thank you so much, and I'm going to actually use it as my gauge, because I also talk a lot about self-worth, and a lot of times you don't really feel like you're worthy. You don't necessarily feel like you are confident. And it takes time, it takes time and maturity, with age, obviously. And also, just in terms of you personally, is accomplishments. So if you finish, or produce a film of some sort, or even you send out 10 emails, that's a sense of accomplishment as well. And if you're able to articulate well, even in a conversation, I think is, something to really to look forward to. So it's just so important for everyone to know their self-worth, because if you're confident, then you can move forward. You can take on those conversations. You can almost challenge yourself in terms of taking on a new project. And also, quite candidly, amidst a pandemic, is getting up and out of bed some days. Some days are all like,
Yeah, there were days under my covers I was like, I'm not sure I want to do that. Yeah, absolutely. And I love your self-worth and what you're talking about here, because if you have self-worth, then you can actionize your inspiration. You can take that action. It can be yeah, it can move forward, like you said. But if you're not having that self-worth, if you're not just even complimenting yourself on the fact that you still have all your fingers and your toes, it can be as simple as that. um, it's hard to hold that space for that inspiration and that action. I think that's really really important what you're doing there, and getting people to look and reflect. That's beautiful.
yeah.
So they'll go to Instagram, they'll check you out on that platform. um, do you ever speak? I know you're doing this, but are there other places that you speak and they can find, hear you and hear your inspirational stories?
Quite candidly, I don't like doing a lot of interviews. And it's funny, we're talking about confidence. Is many years ago, I wanted to be an actor, and I did some background work on a couple of shows, and didn't like it at all. And not because of the hard work and the long hours. That for me, that was like whatever. And that's the easy part. It was more so is the lights and camera are on you. The focus is on you. So even when I'm walking on the red carpet, it's just like, wow, this is a bit too much, right? So, I mean, there's a few things. I was on the social impact theory, Lisa Bilyeu. I've done a few things here and there. And, touching back, and not to be redundant on confidence, is, Rileagh, I decided also during COVID is that people need to see more examples of people who look like me, and want to know my story. So I've been trying to do a few podcasts and things like that, not turning down requests anymore, is actually pushing myself out of that comfort zone. Because even if somebody has or gets, one takeaway from my conversation with somebody, I feel like I've done my work. I've accomplished something. So, yeah, so I don't have a lot of places that I can say, oh, go listen to me talking over here and you can hear my story and things like that. There's not a lot of places, but the reality is there's more that's going to be coming, and I will be pushing myself out there soon.
Excellent. And what thank you for doing it, because you are wonderful to speak with and you have so much to offer. um, I think it's needed. It's needed. And
Thank you.
so everybody in the audience, stay tuned, keep watching, because she'll be out there more, Brenda, and be excited about it. Um, are there any little projects you're working on that you can speak about and you can share? Sneak peeks for our audience coming up.
Sneak peeks. There's well, House of Gucci is coming out. We are executive producers on that, so we're excited about that in November. Candyman is out right now. Respect is out as well. In terms of sneak peeks, there's a lot on the non-scripted side of things that we're working on. So Nicki Minaj series hopefully will be coming out later on this year as well. So very excited about that. And more than just a toe dip into the non-scripted area for Braun, we're mostly known for our narrative, our live action side of things. So look forward to seeing more from us on multiple fronts.
Beautiful, beautiful. Are you doing any of that stuff? Is it going to coincide with inspiration? I know the actions and the things, but is there anything out there that is also going to help inspire people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like even the subject matter on some of the content that we're putting out there is it's their stories. And the hardships that they had to encounter and how they have, set out those stepping stones piece by piece for us. And, we rest on their shoulders in terms of some of the discrimination and lack of opportunities. So absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And everything and anything that we can do, both on the non-scripted, animated, and narrative side of things.
The whole company, everything you do, I find, like we said, very inspiring, and just keep doing it because I look forward to more and watching more of what you're producing and hearing more and seeing what you're posting. So, if if there was anything you'd like to leave with our audience today as we wrap up, what would you say to them?
Oh, something that I've talked early on about, just because it's part of who I am and who I've become and where I'm going, is I call it the 4 Ps. And it's to do with anything that you do in life. It doesn't necessarily have to pertain to the entertainment industry. It's this sense of purpose. What are you doing? How are you going? How are you going about doing these things? And also, if it's film, the passion. So that's the second P is, are you passionate? Are you waking up every single day and saying, this is what motivates me. This is what inspires me. I wake up, I'm exhausted, but I'm excited, to move forward with the day. And I'm exhausted at night, but I know that I've done what I really, really love. And then the third and the fourth is patience and perseverance. Patience, just in terms of even thinking about, and I, not to reference COVID all the time, is think about what's happened with COVID for our entertainment industry is all the theaters were closed down. So you don't have these theatrical releases in the way that you once anticipated with, our studio partners. And then the perseverance is, I've been doing this for a long time, as have my colleagues at Braun, as my husband. So we were joking around earlier today and saying it takes about 20, 25 years to become an overnight success. So, it's just, if you have the patience and the perseverance, you're going to keep at it. If you have the passion, that's what's really going to motivate you and drive you further. And the purpose is, what are you trying to do in terms of content, and how do you want to go about in doing it?
Excellent, excellent. What a fantastic and perfect thing. Another P for you. Perfect thing to ponder on for the audience, because those are really what get us through. Thank you for that share, and thank you for being with us today again. We really have valued your time and your information and what you're doing. So I just want to say again, thank you before I sign off, and we'll see you soon, I hope.
Well, I'm honored and humbled that you asked me to be a part of this and to, share any words that I can to help others. So thank you so much. And I look forward to having multiple conversations with you in the future.
So thank you everyone for watching the Inspiration Whispers. In a world where inspiration and purpose is so needed, we find it to help you make real change. Again, I'm your host, Coach Rileagh, and thank you for watching.